there. So maybe I want to work that. This has turned into a really real treatment here, guys, because I've just found a nugget. Oh, it's good, man. So this is the beauty about this treatment. You're just finding leads and following. You know, if I was just doing a general treatment and wasn't tuned in, I would have missed that nugget, you know what I mean? But what we do here at MMT is we're trying to be detectives with our hands and really find the spot that that person needs and then be able to deliver a treatment that no one else has been able to deliver. G'day guys, Aaron and Matty here from MMT. Today we're going to show you how a bodyworker treats the rotator cuff. So just to give you a recap, there's 4 muscles in the rotator cuff. You've got the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis. Okay, so what we're going to do is start with the supraspinatus today. So it sits on the top of the scapula there, underneath the upper trap and the mid trap, and then it runs all the way out into the head of the humerus there. And what's really interesting, this is a cool little chart here, because you can actually see the cut infraspinatus and teres minor, and then the subscapularis sits on the other side. So you might think rotator cuff, I'm guessing the rotator cuff helps with rotation of the shoulder and movement, and that's true, but one of the fundamental roles that rotator cuff plays is actually on stability of the shoulder, so we can move our arm in all these wonderful ways. And why it is so crucial to stability is, see how all the tendons in the rotator cuff attach to the humeral head? They're all quite similar. And if you look at the fibers, which direction they all run, they run acrossways like this. So if you think about it, if they get tense and taut, it's going to pull that humeral head in close to the scapula where it sits in a little kind of shallow groove. Now why that's important is, with your hip, we've got a big kind of bowl that the ball of our femur attaches into the pelvis, and it's wrapped up with ligaments. So that's kind of the rotator cuff of the pelvis, but the shoulder hasn't got that. So we need muscles like the rotator cuff to be stabilizers, okay? But when you have injury or kind of dysfunctional biomechanics and things like that, you can actually have an instability in your rotator cuff, and that can cause you shoulder pain, referred pain down the arm, and it can be really shitty, okay? So what we're gonna do is start with the infraspinatus. Hello, Matty.
Hello.
How are you, mate?
Yeah,
Are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I'll do my job and just...
Chuck your head down, man. You can have a bit of a chat with us if you want, but
cool.
Come over here, Ninja. Let me show you what's going on here. So basically the supraspinatus, the way to find it is, we want to find the spine of the scapula here, which is like that in there, and then it comes out and attaches into this little part underneath the deltoid there. But to actually hit the supraspinatus like this, what we want to be doing is trying to find that spine of the scapula and then just be pinning straight down into it in here and just exploring this range and seeing what we can find, seeing if there's any trigger points or anything gnarly that is resonating with our customer. Now we have to push through quite a lot of other tissue to get to the supraspinatus here, so it's important to really find the spine of the scap and then just slip off of it. So you've got the best chance to hit the supraspinatus without having to push through too much of the upper trap, which on a guy like Matty is quite pronounced because he's a big muscular dude. So see how I'm found the spine of the scapula, which is there, slip up like that, and so I've got the best chance to pin down and
when you pin down,
hit into there. And Matty said he can really feel that when I pin down into that spot there. So yeah, we can work all the way along the scapula because it comes and attaches all the way up here, so we can pin in there, we can move down and pin in there, which I think is probably the best spot there, and then go all the way to the AC joint, which is basically the joint that the supraspinatus comes and goes underneath. It slides underneath, so that's kind of getting to the tip where the spine of the scapula meets the clavicle, and then it turns into the AC joint, the tip of the shoulder there. So we need to make this spot really kind of I guess free and have good blood flow and not too much tonus tissue, so that supraspinatus can really glide smoothly under that bone there, because that's all bone, but then you get a nice soft spot in here where the supraspinatus goes and attaches. So you can kind of even pin into the humerus there. It's hard for you to see, but you can actually do some pinning right around here, which it's a bit hard to see, isn't it, Ninj? Yeah, but I'm trying to pin up into the, remember where those tendons go and attach into the humerus there to pull it nice and snug into the scapula? You can do some work in there. But that's how we would work the supraspinatus. Okay, cool. Moving on. What's our next one? Let's have a look. Here we have the infraspinatus. So the supraspinatus sat up there, but the infra is a little bit lower, okay? But you see how it goes there and tugs in nice and tight. Now the cool thing about these we haven't spoken about is also the referral patterns. So you can see when the infraspinatus gets a lot of trigger points, look at the referral patterns here. You've got down the arm, into the shoulder, into the rhomboids here, and even up into the neck as well. So it's pretty cool stuff. Now that is going to be out here. So once again, you can find the spine of the scapula there, but just have the knowing that underneath that is where the infraspinatus is going to be. So supraspinatus was up here, infraspinatus is down here, but we have to keep in mind we've got the posterior deltoid which comes here, and so the infraspinatus sits like that. That's kind of a cool diagram of what it looks like. So pushing through here is going to be hard because we've got to push through the deltoid, which is the big muscle, but we can affect the infraspinatus around here and see if we can find any meaningful trigger points on Matty. So we can just pin and hold there, or we can kind of do a little bit of an exploration just to see, you know, if we can find anything that's really meaningful on Matty. And I can already feel like there's a little bit of a nugget right there. So right there I can feel there's a trigger point because it's this just really ropey right there. So I've got to figure out, where do I want to pin that? Do I want to pin up into that? Or do I want to flick over it and pin down into it?
No,
like that?
first one.
First one. So good intel by Matty. Come under and pin up like that. That's the oof muscle.
Yeah. Oof.
So that can be really relieving for the shoulder and just give the shoulder more security, because once you get rid of these trigger points, you know, the shoulder could feel more secure because the infraspinatus is able to do its job.
Bang on.
I felt a little twitch in Matty's shoulder there, which is really good too. So there's obviously something happening, which is really cool. So once you've been on that and it dissipates a bit, we can move on. I feel like there's going to be another one just here.
Maybe okay.
Not too much there. I'll just keep exploring. Not too bad there either, Matty.
No, I actually felt okay.
What about there? So Matty seems to have more of it up near the edge of the scapula, like.
Yeah, it's spicy.
There. So that's where we want to see that flick. That's a real nuggety spot on that. Right on it, Matty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hot. It's going, I think, down the arm a bit.
Yes, that's going down the arm, just like the book said. So the book's right.
That's good.
We'll tell the authors, eh? You still got it.
Still got it, baby.
Cool. So that's where you can do your infraspinatus work, guys. Beautiful. Well done, Matt. Okay, next. What's next, Ninj? Terry's Minor. Terry's Chocolate Orange, for all you guys that remember that ad. So pretty similar to the infraspinatus, but a lot smaller. And it attaches to the lateral border of the scapula rather than sitting on the whole, kind of back side of the scapula. With the referral point for this one though, it's pretty much just kind of posterior middle deltoid, not as hectic as the infraspinatus, which was literally the whole arm. Okay, with Terry's minor though, and Terry's major that sits underneath it, you've got some pretty important nerves that come down this region too. So this can be really good for helping people with some potential nerve pain down the arm, and also maybe some golfers or tennis elbow. You want to try and get into this point in here. So the way we do this one is, obviously we know posterior deltoid, infraspinatus is like that. Now if you imagine that in your head, what the teres looks like is probably more like that. Because remember, it doesn't sit on the whole back of the scapula, it's more of a slither like that. So the way we want to find it is, we actually want to find the edge of the scapula. Sorry, Ninj. So we find the edge of the scapula, which is kind of just doing our good palpation kind of in here. And then we just push into that bone and see if there's any gold in there for us.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit more. Oh yes, I think if you angle that way, yeah.
Cool. So Matty's given me some really good intel there on how to actually pin this lateral border.
My God.
And this can be pretty gnarly. Like this stuff can feel really raw and painful. And remember, there's a lot of nerves coming down here too. So even if they don't feel it at first, potentially maybe just sink in. Just sink in slow, and the path might find itself, and you'll be able to feel these nuggets that are really important. So that really feels like a good one for me. So that's where you got to have good touch with your hands, because you got to know what you kind of feeling, you know, something that feels really hypertonic. So Matty's got some good stuff there, don't you, bro?
Yeah.
So you see how at the start he wasn't feeling it, but when I find it, it's brutal. So you don't want to go too hard.
Yeah. Take your time, get that right angle.
Exactly. So we can explore maybe down the lateral border a little bit more. So that's probably getting into teres major, which, you know, it's not a rotator cuff muscle, but it's good to explore. But I don't feel like there's much there. I feel like a lot of Matty's stuff was right in there. That's really painful, Matty. So a lot of clients are real jumpy when you do teres minor. So I'd love to bring a bit of melting to that for you, Matty.
Thank you.
So we can, see how it's kind of flicking under it like that, but what if we pin it and then work up the lateral border of the scap? We can do some really good work in there. They're beautiful. There's the 3 rotator cuff muscles on the backside. And what I'm loving is though, compared to the start, like this is what I'm looking at normally, so I haven't spoken about it, but the tone of this whole region looks so much more spread out now, which is really good because objectively as a body worker, we're definitely looking for changes in tone as we're working. Okay, spin over, Matty.
Yeah.
Spin over. So we're going to do I'll get this right away for you, bro. Make it look a bit nicer.
Yeah, it's gone to shit.
So this is the muscle of the rotator cuff that's on the front side of the body. So it's pretty similar to the infraspinatus, but this time we're looking from the front side through the rib cage. So this muscle is actually in the armpit. So you can see how it's very similar in shape to the infraspinatus, but it's on the front side of the scapula. And once again, see those cross fiber directional lines, pulling that humerus snug back in. But you can see with the referral pattern here, big time to the posterior deltoid and even down into the wrist as well and tricep. So if you've got golfer's elbow or someone that can't raise their arm above their head, this is kind of a go-to for us that we use. Okay, so what we generally do is you can start with the arm like that, you can start with the arm closed in like that, but just to show you guys what I'm doing today, I'm going to start with the arm like that, but just make sure it's in a comfortable position for them, because if they're restricted going back into external rotation or above their head, it just might, if you start like that, it might be a bit kind of compromised and not feel very good. So start where they feel comfortable, okay? And what we're going to do is just place our fingers there first, because some people feel really like they don't like their armpits getting touched, or they can be ticklish, or it can just be a very vulnerable feeling. So you just got to kind of go really gentle at first, all right? But what we want to be doing is getting in relatively deep, and then the idea is to pin our finger pads down onto the subscapularis. How's it feeling in there for you, Matty?
Yeah, it feels very sharp in the armpit. I know it can be a bit funny sometimes, right? Like there's a lot of nerves in there, but it's not getting that, which is good. What is the referral for this?
Referral for this is normally the back side of the deltoid, so it'll kind of go to the back here. So that's kind of what I'm always trying to get is, well, once I've got that, I know that I'm on the right bit. So
yeah, exactly.
But for a guy, again, that's very muscular like you, it can be hard to get into this initially because there's so much lat, there's so much pec that, you need to maybe let things melt first. And I like to even use some wax in here too, just because the hair can cause a bit of friction as well. So sometimes it's good to have a bit of wax so you can kind of just free up some of that skin.
Yeah.
And then be able to pin down.
It can be hard to relax. I think I'm relaxed.
Yeah. So sometimes too, if you feel like you haven't got the area, what you can start doing if they're able to do it is actually start going into a bit of external rotation as you're pinning. And that can be a nice way that you could maybe take away some of that resistance in the client from not letting their arm go.
Just like slowly letting their arm just fall.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Camera shots.
Good shots, Ninj. He loves it. Bit of point of view.
Bit of POV.
Bit of POV. But yeah, it's really cool because even now, like I feel like the arm's feeling like it has less resistance or less need for you to hold it yourself, which is a good sign, because sometimes when you're doing range of motion assessments or dynamically moving the arm during treatment, if they can't let go, it could be a sign of unconscious instability in the arm, because unconsciously they're like, no, I don't want you to do that.
So see that with other areas in the body, like, like when they tense their glutes or something.
Correct. So when you get that feeling like the body's letting go, it can be a really good sign that things are actually opening up.
Yeah. That's good.
So just hold that there. I'm just gonna get some wax over here.
Wax. Gonna quickly wax my armpit.
Should we wax your armpit?
No.
You have got a bit of hair, Matty.
Nah, it's all good. Oof.
Okay, just so you can see, Ninja, I'll try and won't go in as deep. But with this too, guys, when you're doing subscap work, remember you probably are doing a little bit of lat as well. So when you're pinning down, just keep in mind that you might be doing a bit of those global muscles in there, which is a good thing. You know, it's good to open up this space here and free it up. Good, man. You going all right?
Yeah, it's just trying to talk to the arm a bit. Just let go.
Trying to talk to your arm. Let's try an opposite arm in there, see what we've got. Trying to get you guys some good visuals.
I feel like that feels good, but I'm not sure if I think that's probably lat, maybe?
I feel like I'm on lat too, yeah.
I need a lat treatment.
Some people, this is the thing about subscap, some people like, you need to spend a bit of time in here to just get the rest of the system all released off before you can pin down onto the back of that scap there. I feel like you've needed this regardless though, eh, Matty?
Yeah, this will be good. I'm getting referrals into my hand a bit as well, I think. Maybe it's the lat, maybe it's subscap, but yeah.
There's something going on here. Sometimes what I do too is to try and bring the arm over the body like that. Can be a way to close that space off. I feel like I could stay in here all day. This feels like it needs it, man.
It's alright in the future. Next video. Or just one-on-one treatment.
You've definitely let go of the arm here though, which is good now. And what's your history with your shoulder, man? Like you've had stuff going on this side, eh? So it's probably good that you were featured in this video.
Left shoulder.
Bloody left shoulder. We found something off camera during testing on the right shoulder too, didn't we? Maybe we can do that in the next video, talk about posterior delts.
Yeah.
And why they're important.
Yeah. I had the right shoulder done on video, it's always been left.
Yeah. You've got this spot, like, can you feel that?
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
What does that feel like to you?
It feels very targeted on like my sore shoulder where I feel with my pull-ups.
Really?
Where your right hand is on that edge there.
So the sore shoulder you get is here though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I always get the pain there though.
So when I'm on that, you're feeling it at the back?
Yeah.
Okay, well that must be subscap because that's where the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so where's my book? Oh, sorry, Matty. Have a look at this, guys. We've just found something here. But would you say that the referral's going to the back part of the shoulder, like in this diagram here?
Well, isn't that where you are?
Nah, because that's looking from the back view. So that's going to the infraspinatus.
I was just confused me. Yeah. It feels like it's like you are touching the
back.
The back.
Yeah, cool. Because you've actually, that's why I think it was so hard for me to find, because you've got this really specific band right there. So maybe I want to work that. This has turned into a really real treatment here, guys, because I've just found a nugget. Oh, it's good, man.
Yeah, be keen to suss this one.
Yeah. So this is the beauty about this treatment. You're just finding leads and following. If I was just doing a general treatment and wasn't tuned in, I would have missed that nugget, you know what I mean? But what we do here at MMT is we're trying to be detectives with our hands and really find the spot that person needs and then be able to deliver a treatment that no one else has been able to deliver. But yeah, Matty, that right there. A couple of big deep breaths, man, and then we'll finish up. So breathe out into that shoulder, man. And then let it all go. Good, man. Awesome. We'll go 2 more, man. So breathe in. That's it. And out and let it all go. That's good, man. 1 more. Breathe in. And out, man. Good, bro. So good. Fantastic. And I'll slowly come out of there. But thanks for being my body today, man.
No worries.
And
mate.
hopefully you viewers have a lot more understanding of the rotator cuff, the 4 muscles that are involved, why their role is really important, and how, as an MMT body worker, we approach treating it to restore function, get rid of pain, and to, just let that person do what they want to do with their arms again. All right, so if you've resonated with this, like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. And if you're in Melbourne, be sure to hit up one of our practitioners if you need help. And if you're overseas, we have a global database of practitioners that can help you. So check it out, see if someone's in your area. And look how tall he is now. That's
6
fixed.
foot.
Fixed.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
brother. Appreciate it, man.
Oh.